Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back to your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we're going to be talking about Quant Network, aka QNT. So let's just dive in. And let's start off with real quick. I am having an exclusive giveaway with MEXC. They reached out to me and they wanted me to have this event set up for the holiday season where we are giving away over $8,000 in USDT. If you guys do want to go check this out, I will leave a link down in the description below as well as in the comments below. Please read over everything. Make sure that you are, working towards being eligible for this event and all that kind of stuff. And also, everything will be trackable in terms of the campaign rewards tab here. And there's also a $1,000 futures bonus where you can earn up to $1,000. So definitely go check that out if you guys are interested into that. Also, please note, please do not leave any assets on any exchanges. I do not trust any of these exchanges to hold assets on, as you guys know me. So with that in mind, let's actually talk about a few things around Quant Network. So one, in securities, there is a clear and obvious interest in blockchain, but in payments, they're not sure exactly where they want to go with it, says Martin Hargreaves. There's a bit of fear of too much change at the same time. And listen closely to this. I'm going to turn it up and yeah.
So securities, clear and obvious need, everyone's doing it. Payments, everyone is interested but not sure exactly where they want to go with it. So there's a few payment networks were there, Finality were there, RTGS Global were there, looking at wholesale flows. There was some interest in some places, skepticism in some places about the retail side of things, which I personally think is going to be really interesting, particularly on the corporate side, because the programmable nature of money has just a lot of...
Is it skepticism or are there a lot of entrenched interests there?
To be honest, I think it's a little bit is fear of too much change at the same time. So they're already doing securities, they're already responding to regulation. It's just running out of headspace to think about all of these things. So they're kind of pushing it out a year or so. We spoke to a few that are definitely, it's on their agenda for 2023, particularly with CBDCs coming in has focused everybody's mind. All right, so there's pretty much all of the banks that we spoke to, I think, said they need to work out what CBDC means for them, which jurisdictions they're in, how does it change. So there's a lot of uncertainty still, and I think there's a massive phase of research going on with the central banks, and the commercial banks are also following that really closely. I think the advantages that are starting to come out of some of those experiments will be quite compelling. So next year will be the year to watch in terms of more banks going live, more commercial banks actually starting to look at building prototype products, testing it with their customers and looking for what's the upside of it rather than it's something else they'll have to do.
And, I think the interesting thing around everything happening with a lot of adoption within blockchain, it's the idea that like these major institutions, these massive giants, all of these major corporations, these companies, etc., they are all ready to adopt this technology. They just don't know what steps they need to take, which is why we are starting to see a lot of them, come together, think it out, and discuss what the next major plan is of action around blockchain technology and crypto. And I want you all to understand that when we look at this, it's preparing us for what the next major stepping stone is around crypto, which, in my opinion, will be in 2023, and it will be full-on adoption of standards around crypto to get them prepared to fully go live with it, most likely within the 2024-2025 timeframe. And who knows, we might even see a full-on go live with certain crypto use cases in 2023 as well. And this is, this discussion where Watch Quant CEO and CPO on the future of institutional digital assets, they even see that we will see major key developments we're likely to see over the next 12 months, which is going to be centered on the readiness to adopt these assets. And, I think that this is going to be, like I said, the big focus point of 2023. I think that 2023 is going to be the time to really kind of plan for the next major action point, because 2022 so far has been the big turning point around interoperability anyways. And also, fund tokenization part 3, solving liquidity and access challenges in private equity. So we do see underlying blockchain technology as a potential game changer for general partners who are now able, or sorry, who are now able to provide evergreen fund solutions for illiquid private market assets. Hey, it was not me that had the typo here. It was Quant. But no, seriously, when we look at illiquid private market assets, we really kind of look at a few illiquid markets like real estate. Real estate is a big game changer around liquidity. In fact, it's an asset class that is extremely illiquid, but this is more so talking about private equity in general and why we could start to see a big shift around digital assets. And they even say that digital assets may even outperform listed stocks, which is pretty interesting, which I think that we will most likely see actually going into the next major cycle. I mean, we usually always do anyways, but this is very exciting to see. I think that the discussions around a lot of things within crypto, liquidity itself is a big turning point around digital assets. I think that liquidity as a use case as well is very significant, which is why I talk about XRP quite a bit on this channel as well. Now, we do see over here from Jeff, QRC20. We're predominantly working with central banks, commercial banks, investment banks, and now in capital markets with asset managers on the whole idea of tokenization. We're not just talking about CBDCs, we're really testing CBDCs. And this is from Gilbert Verdian, and this is from this video talking about interoperability and the benefits of digital assets. Yeah, I mean, like they are already testing out the CBDC environment that are ready to really kind of go fully live with providing the interoperability core piece of the puzzle for CBDCs. And I think that this is very interesting because they are already preparing us for what's to come around major central banks and the financial institutional grade standard. Everything that we have started to see with DLT adoption this year has really kind of centered us for Quant to be plug and played within a lot of these major processes. And it definitely is something that, as a QNT holder and believer, I've been really looking at all of the research coming out around plug and play aspects through API gateways with CBDCs and finance use cases. And it really is the idea of tokenization as well. Like that's why I do talk about, tokenization of certain asset classes like real estate because of the opportunity of providing liquidity for a lot of these illiquid asset classes. I really do think that as we kind of see DLT morph into reality around the space of finance and payments, etc., it's going to start to spread like a wildfire into many of those other industries as well, and it's going to be exciting to watch. And also over here, we do see from Darren Parkin, while not making a wallet itself or even committing to the notion that it wants to develop a CBDC, the Bank of England is actively looking for a company to take on a contract to build a CBDC wallet. And this is very interesting because when we go over to this tweet here from Just a Tech Guy, we do see API QNT. So here we have the work the work is part of Project Rosalind, an initiative of the BIS Innovation Hub in London to develop application program interfaces APIs for CBDC aiming to enable interoperability for CBDCs. In other words, how a central bank or a central CBDC ledger can interface with private sector payment providers without sufficient integration with banks and other applications, the demand for any CBDC will likely be limited. Hence, a key aim of the sample wallet proof of concept is to be able to test and explore the use of APIs and make it more tangible for user testing. The bank might also use the work from the Wallet Initiative to develop roles for payment schemes or private sector wallet developers. This is very interesting to me as well because when we do look at API plug and play gateways, that three-line of code gateway from Quant is a huge stepping stone in terms of a technological advancement around API gateways with CBDCs. But also, Just a Tech Guy does quote this tweet here going all the way back to 2020. That's right. This goes all the way back to April 7th, 2020. And we do see today Bank of England held a webinar. What would a Bank of England digital currency be like? Polls with 1,200 participants shows how a CBDC meets future payment needs. Our important takeaway, the new RTGS will be interoperable with DLTs using an API platform. And here we have the platform model of a CBDC. So you have the central bank core ledger. Now this could be public or private basis, which I've always talked about, like at the core of it will be DLT. I think that this is huge. And then we have API access. All of this is going to be plug and play to the payment interface providers, aka, that's what you utilize whenever you make a payment on Amazon. Maybe you you know, swipe your card at a store. All of that is plug and play to that API access to the CBDC, or in this instance, the CBDC, the DLT that the CBDC is backed on. And then we have it all the way to users. So this really kind of breaks down the full platform on how everything will work in a simplified manner, by the way. It's very easy to understand this concept than most of the other ones that we've seen. And then here we have the quick poll: which of these opportunities of CBDC presents the greatest benefit? So 36% is meeting future payment needs in a digital economy. 20% is making payments more resilient, competitive, and innovative. 17% as a building block for better cross-border payments. 14% improving access to central bank money as cash use declines. And then 12% avoiding the risk of new forms of private money creation. And then over here, we do see which design choice would be the most effective way of influencing demand for CBDC. 35% convertibility, 32% access, 25% remuneration, and then 8% is limits. And then over here on the last slide, we do have the next step. So we want your thoughts on benefits and risk of CBDCs for payments, opportunities and risk for monetary and financial stability, functionality and provision of CBDC, and then technology choices. This is all a big discussion around this, and it's funny because like this is Quant posting these screenshots on behalf of the Bank of England. Like, this is crazy to me. And we also do see down here you can now view the entire webinar and slides on YouTube, and they do mention the entire email here. I suppose this is the email from Bank of England. Very interesting. I mean, like, a lot of people were saying like, nice, but where's the connection here? Connection is right. It is right there. The API. I mean, this is very special to me, because even like the UK government's website lists Quant as a technology provider. Um, Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you, with everyone out there. Like, these API platforms, the API access itself will be the infrastructure core of this entire system. I know that DLT will play the vital role of being the best way that I could describe this is DLT is the it's the layer right above where interoperability stands, because yeah, DLT is great. Like, I love DLT technology, it's incredible, but not having that connection layer between DLT to everything else, without that, it's basically useless. So, when we talk about digital assets and distributed ledger technology, we need to have that core piece of the puzzle, that connectivity layer to connect it all to the legacy system. When we do see this payment interface providers down here, this is, in my opinion, the legacy system. The central bank core ledger, the ledger that it will be provided on, private or public, that's going to be the distributed ledger technologies that we talk about on a daily basis on this channel. And they are all going to provide a vital role. And it's also going to allow these central banks to utilize any DLT of their choosing, by the way, for this, because that's what Quant is doing through their, overledger technology. So this is huge, and it's providing us a little bit of an insight on where things are kind of headed around this. Am I going to say 100% that Quant is powering the UK CBDC? Not necessarily, but I do think that with the UK government's website labeling them as a tech provider, and Quant being behind the Bank of England for a very long time around CBDC initiatives, it would not shock me if they were a technology provider for them in terms of that API gateway. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on if you guys have more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, hope that you all have a beautiful day, beautiful night, wherever you guys are on this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.